Hello, thanks a lot to be there with us for a new Campus France Live dedicated to higher education in France. Today we're going to discover the MSc in Sports Industry Management of emlyon Business School. To talk about this program, I'm very pleased to welcome Antoine Haincourt. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. First of all, can you introduce yourself in a few words?
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here this morning. My name is Antoine Haincourt, as I said. I'm the program director of the MSc in SIM from emlyon Business School, and SIM being the Sports Industry Management program from emlyon. I've been the director of that program since I think 2016, so that's quite a few years now. And prior to this, I've worked in marketing and consulting, managing innovation projects in France, in the US, and in Asia as well.
And can you tell us a few words about emlyon Business School? It's one of the top business schools here in France.
That's what we like to say, and I want to believe this is true. Yes, emlyon Business School is one of the top ranked business schools in France and in Europe, and it offers broad range of programs, including a general program of management and master's programs with specific, addressing specific sectors, and we're one of these programs.
And we're going to discover a little more at the MSc thanks to a little video. We'll be back just after that. We've just seen some information about the program. Can you describe a little bit this MSc? What is the idea behind it? What do we study concretely?
Well, to start with, I would like to start with explaining a little bit about sports, because sports sounds like a quite generic word, and a lot of people may have different definitions of that word. For us, today sports meets with music, meets with entertainment, with health, with technology, and more recently we could see that geopolitics hits sports, and economics and financial issues as well, hits sports. And this is what we like to address. It's this idea and how we like to tackle this phenomenon from a business perspective. So what we do as a program, and we like to explain it this way. The program is really based on two pillars: innovation and marketing, and our field of study is sports. That's this is what we address throughout this program.
And how long does this program last?
So the program lasts, in terms of content and courses, 10 months, from September all the way through June, and then students go on an internship for 4 to 6 months, and then they still have a master thesis to write, and this takes quite a few more months. So all in all, I would say that you have to be ready to spend a good 18 months at least from 18 to 2 years.
And in which language is it possible to study in this MSc?
So 100% of the program is taught in English.
So it means that there is an international perspective in what you offer. The idea is to work in many places after graduated?
Yes, absolutely. So I'd like to bring a little precision here because this is a very international program, not only because it's taught in English, but because more than 50% of our cohort is made of international students. That's one point. The other point is we also offer a mobility period abroad. We spend 2 months in Canada. We used to spend 3 months in China in the past, but due to COVID that we all experienced and the situation, we had decided to pivot. And then since last year, we're partnering with a university in Canada, in Quebec. So we go there for 2 months.
So the idea is to discover maybe what is similar and what is different with what we can have in France. In terms of accreditation, both for emlyon Business School and for the program, what are the different accreditations that you have?
It's the triple accreditation, so I'm not very familiar with this part, but it's one of the best accredited, school in France, triple accreditation. So I think we're pretty well certified here.
Let's talk now about the program, what we can do concretely in the MSc in terms of different classes, courses that you offer. What do you have concretely?
So as I was saying earlier on, sport being our field of study, what we do and what we offer in terms of lectures, innovation and entrepreneurship, one major pillar. So we have over 100 hours dedicated to this type and this group of courses. The other ones being analytics, digitization, and data science, over 100 hours as well. And of course, the field of study is sports. So we also offer lectures in terms of sports and give the students the keys of understanding of the sports market's dynamics, including governance of sports. And what we can say that's for next year, we also will introduce something which I consider as a major issue for our sector, but not only, is climate change and how this affects the sports industry.
And what is the balance between the practical and theoretical courses in the different classes you have?
I could say that half and half. Most of the classes are, I wouldn't say reversed classes, but hands-on classes. So students work on real projects with real companies, and they are being offered lectures to manage, their project.
What kind of projects do you offer with the professional world?
So most of the projects are based on innovation. So students are asked to manage, or to address major issues that actors of the sports sectors are facing. We've been partnering with clubs such as PSG, for example, or the FIA, the International Federation of Automobiles, also with Adidas. So we offer students, broad range of types of companies, whether it is in sports manufacturing, products manufacturing, or sports services, clubs or federations. So these type of projects last for about 3 months. And students are working very intensively on these projects, and they are being mentored as well, in small groups of five students.
And it can be a good way to develop their professional networks and to begin to network for their life after graduating.
Well, a network is a good question. You have to build it. You don't decree, a network. So if you're good, if you're committed to your projects, then the network, starts building. That's a real challenge as well for the students. But of course, that's a first step for them to build it.
Let's talk now about the admission and all the process, all the steps that you have to follow. First of all, what kind of background do you require? Do you want student with a previous experience in the sport market, or is it possible to just have an interest and to be brand new with the sport? How do you work with the background?
Well, That's a very interesting question. I would like to start with saying that you don't really have to be a professional athletes to join the program. So it's really dedicated for those who are willing to make an impact in the industry and work in marketing, business development, innovation. Basically, this is the field of missions. The scope of missions that students will find in the future. So in terms of background, most of the time we have students coming from business backgrounds, but 25%, I would say, are engineers. The other 25% come from social science. So this is social science, including communication. So that's basically the profiles of the cohort. Those will recruit our students at a minimum of 4 years after their baccalaureate. If I take this French reference, 4 to 5 years. If you have a bachelor in 4 years, that's a minimum requirement. We of course welcome a lot of master students, engineer as well. It happens as well that we recruit younger students in a certain limit. And if these students, also show a prior experience, internship, first job in the sports, it's good. But even if it's not in the sports field, so if they really show some commitment to pursue career in sports, this is what we value.
And what are the different steps to apply to this program? Is there like an interview to prepare? Do you have to write a personal statement? How does it work?
Okay, so here it's since 2 years now. There's a specific process to apply. You have to go through a series of tests, and these tests are both behavioral and logical. That usually takes about an hour. And then you're asked to answer a few questions, written question, and you're going through a video interview afterwards. So that's it's a pretty tough series of assignments to go through. It's really you need to be prepared. If I may actually give a tip for the candidates that want to apply for the program, don't talk too much about where you come from and what you did, but try to think in terms of what would you like to bring to that industry and how would you process, how would you do it. We're really valuing the profiles of students or of candidates. We're really valuing doers and not just thinkers. We want, thinkers and doers, thinkers who do, and not only dreamers. Of course, it's good to dream, but to make an impact, you have to be a doer at first.
And what kind of students are you looking for in terms of qualities? What is really important for you in the MSc? You were talking about doer, thinker, but in terms of qualities, of personalities, what are you looking for?
Well, that's very, very important. And I base my answer on, the discussions and the relationship we have with recruiters, HR people. Technical skills, they change, they evolve very fast. And what the companies value is the attitude and mindset of their newcomers. I would really advise candidates as well to work on this, because personality is key. Having a positive attitude, so ability to work in group, ability to listen, to observe. These are the top qualities that are required from candidates.
We're now going to talk about the student life. How is it like to study at emlyon Business School in this MSc? I think we didn't talk about that. The place where the courses, the city where the courses are located, where are they located?
Yes, this is something that I didn't mention in the first place. So emlyon is based in Lyon, obviously, but we have a campus in Paris as well, and our program is located and is based in that campus, in Paris, where most of the actors from the sports industry in France are located. So we're really in the heart of the city. So campus is quite small, but the city is very, it's a lively city and very, very active city. So I think this is very good point for us.
You've just mentioned that there are plenty of factors in the sport industry in Paris. Do you organize maybe events to welcome them on the campus, to make them talk with your students? How is it in terms of the different events that you organize in the sport industry?
Well, because the program is really hands-on, so we connect directly with actors of this industry. Most of the time, these actors come to us. But we also organize learning trips. I take the students usually, halfway through the first period in November. I take them to London for a week, for visits, and as well, we go to Canada, and where it's really in the field. So we connect with actors there. And while we're here, it's sometimes. Some other actors, yes, as I said, are coming to us, and it happens as well that we can go as well for visits from Paris.
In the sport network, in the sport industry, we often talk about the values of sport. We can say in this sport there are this kind of values. What are the values that you have in your MSc? What do you want your student to be like?
Well, it's not that it's a challenging question. But it is, because in fact, sports used to be something you do, a practice. We used to emphasize on the team spirit because we used to think in terms of team sports. The reality is sports is changing and society is changing, sports is changing as well. We embed in, and we embark with us, and sports embark creativity as well, which used to be, didn't used to be one of the values, but team spirit plus creativity, and emphasize a lot on creativity as well, and commitment, of course.
Maybe the team spirit part was really important, but now it's more having a good personal knowledge that you can share with the team, but without being too dependent from the team, isn't it? What is the sport now?
Yeah, it's yes, you can have values, but you cannot impose values, and I think this is a key issue. And in our individualistic world, this is really something that we have to consider.
Let's talk now about the professional world. First of all, is it possible to do internship during the program? How does it work in terms of some connection with the professional world?
I would highly advise to. Not necessarily just work or do an internship. In fact, not an internship in parallel to the courses, but have a job, part-time job, to be connected, to be hands-on. Once again, companies, recruiters, they will value not where you come from, but what you do. And that's, if you show that you're hungry, you have an appetite to make an impact, this will, help you get out of the stack.
And with Paris 2024, I imagine that it will be a lot of opportunities for your students to have a part-time job and to work in this industry.
Tough question, because it's a tough question. Of course, Paris 2024 is recruiting a lot of people, but of course, we're talking here this morning to, and we address our message to those who are going to join us in September 2023. They will finish their classes in June 24, so that's going to be maybe 1 month. Not even, prior to the start of the Olympic Games. But what I can say is, we're working, and the head of innovation of Paris 2024 is one of our lecturers as well. So we are really closely connected to the event.
What are the different opportunities for your students after graduating? In which sectors do we find them? At what kind of job? Is it more like event manager or marketing director? What do they do concretely after graduating?
Well, the question refers to the background of the students. Most of the time, engineers, they end up in innovation, departments, work on product development. For those in business, very often they join marketing teams, whether in clubs, federation, or manufacturers as well. A lot dedicated to digital marketing. And what we can see is there's a good or lots of opportunities as well for our students in business development. So to sum it up, it's really in these type of jobs, and whatever the type of organization. What I can say is that there's an open market, a very dynamic market with the marketing agencies, especially in Europe, where the sports market structure is very fragmented compared to, for example, in the US or North America in general. Here in Europe, the missions are very often subsidized and subcontracted to partners.
With all the COVID crisis, the sport industry had a little tough moment. How is the industry now? Is there a lot of job opportunities for the student? How is it now?
It's yes, of course. COVID hit very badly the industry, and the industry really had to reinvent itself. But it's really interesting to see, because during COVID, there were a lot of, not innovations, but yes, new activities that showed up. Fitness, people were willing to stay fit and to stay healthy, and we can see that fitness and heartbeat sports in general are booming, not only for male, sports used to be a very male-driven sector, and now women and female are really the growth driver of the sector. So yes, sports really reinvent itself, and it also created a lot of opportunities in terms of jobs.
To conclude, what would be your last advice for students watching us today who plan to come to France to study at emlyon Business School? What would you advise them?
Okay, so a few tips. First of all, train to observe and listen. And to do so, try to identify what are the key challenges ahead of the actors that you're willing to join. How would you analyze these challenges and bring with you what you would do, and try to express it. Try to train on this. It's going to help you not only go through the selection process, but it's also going to help you, for your future interviews, with the companies that you're willing to join. So observation, pay attention to the problems, and leave aside all the dreams or ideas that you have in mind. You will use them later on, but fall in love with the problem first.
Thanks a lot, Antoine Haincourt, for having me with us today.
Thank you very much for having me here.
And thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions about emlyon Business School and the MSc in Sports Industry Management, don't hesitate to visit the website of emlyon Business School. See you soon on Campus France Live.